Olá, amigos runners! Tudo bem com vocês? Bora para mais uma live de número 199. O estagiário convida, Canal Run, Robert Run. Como vocês sabem, sempre trazendo o melhor conteúdo aí da nossa ultramaratona e os personagens que fazem esse esporte que a gente tanto ama. E hoje a live, como eu estava falando para vocês, vai ser uma live bem diferente, né? Primeira vez que eu vou fazer dessa maneira a live, né? Eu já tinha feito uma live em espanhol, mas como o espanhol é um pouco mais similar aí com o português, não precisou de tradução simultânea, mas dessa vez vai precisar da tradução simultânea, né? Então, hoje eu tenho a honra de conversar com o atleta polonês Tomasz Zyśko, né? Ele que completou aí a BR 135 milhas em 34 horas, ficou na quinta colocação e hoje ele vai dar o depoimento dele a respeito de como que foi a prova. So, Tomek, uh, it's an honor, a pleasure to have you here today, speaking to Brazil, and thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I would like to make greetings to all Brazilian people. And it's a pleasure to be with you, although it's midnight in Poland.
Yeah, so I have to thank you two times because of that. But I promise it would take just 1 hour.
Okay, thank you very much. I used to have my training early in the morning because I'm
Mhm.
waking up at 5 o'clock. And on the daily basis, I'm making something like 10, 20 kilometers, depending how much time I've got. But I decided tomorrow to do it in the evening, not in the morning.
Ah, okay, so I won't disturb your training. Ok, ok. Bom, galera, então, estava conversando aqui um pouquinho com ele, né? Ele disse que lá na Polônia já é meia-noite, né? Então ele aceitou aí nosso convite aí meia-noite para fazer, né? Então eu agradeci ele duas vezes, né? Porque não é todo mundo que aceita, né? Essa entrevista e disse que eu não vou atrapalhar o treino dele, né? Que amanhã ele vai fazer aí durante a noite o treino, né? Então eu estava preocupado com isso, né? Não queria atrapalhar aí o treino dele. Então, galera, eu tenho 15 questões para fazer aí para o Tomek. E essas 15 questões, assim que ele for respondendo, né, eu vou fazendo a tradução simultânea. Né? E aí, qualquer curiosidade que vocês tiverem, por favor, deixem aí nos comentários. So, Tomek, I was telling to them that I have 15 questions that I already sent to you. And when you answer these questions, I will translate to
Yeah.
them. And any other question here in the comments, I will take to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Tomek. So, first question. I would like to know about your background in the races. How many times did you race? When you start running?
This is a typical story of old guy. When I was 40, I started to be a little bit fat. So the intention of starting running, it was to lose the weight. And it started 13 years ago because at the moment I'm 53. So I started running when I was 40. And frankly speaking, in my previous life, I never had any kind of experience with sports because sometimes people are doing sports in secondary school. They are, let's call it semi-professional
Mm-hmm.
sporters, and I didn't have any experience. I rather was fighting for the revolution on the world instead of doing any kind of a sport. So sport was too boring for me, and I decided to run in when I was 40. So you know my first run, I remember it was just only 5 kilometers, and I was so proud of myself that I was able to do it, and it was in one shot without stopping and so on, so on. I remember my first 10 kilometers run. And, frankly speaking, I didn't have a chance to do a lot of marathons. I jumped from the running half marathon to ultra marathons. With the marathon, there is a funny story because my first marathon, it was New York Marathon.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was done totally by accident because in my birthday, when I had a birthday party to celebrating together with my wife and children, I told myself, okay, I will try to put my name in the application form for the New York Marathon. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't expect that anybody would choose me. And suddenly, after 3 months, I'm receiving the email from New York city runners. Okay, you are selected. So, I took my family, we went to New York, and it was my, frankly speaking, first marathon I ever did.
So you just did the New York City Marathon or just that?
Yeah, I did it. I did it, and it was the first one. But I rather prefer running ultra races or half marathons.
Mm-hmm.
So I really I like very much half marathon. So this is the perfect distance for me
Mm-hmm.
because for 10 kilometers, for 5 kilometers, you have to be, very fast. There's no possibility that you lose something and you've got enough time in order uh, to meet the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but in the ultra, the older I am, the better I am. I can
Mm-hmm.
I can tell something like that. So I started, from something like 50 kilometers. Then I went to 80 kilometers. Then 100. It was the barrier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And later on I started, and after achieving 100 kilometers, I started running 100 miles, so it's 160 kilometers.
Mm-hmm. Ah, ok, perfect. So I got that. Bom, galera, traduzindo tudo que ele falou, né? Então eu perguntei pra ele a história dele, né? Geralmente começa as lives assim, aqui no canal, sobre a história dele. Então ele disse que começou, né, da mesma maneira que eu também comecei, né, para querer perder peso, né? E ele começou com a idade de 40 anos, né? E ele já tem 13 anos que ele corre e ele gosta bastante de fazer meias maratonas, né? E aí da meia maratona ele já pulou, né, para a ultramaratona. Inclusive a única maratona que ele fez, né, ele só fez uma, foi a maratona aí de Nova York, né? Então ele já fez, ele gostou da ultramaratona muito porque ele disse que quanto mais idade ele vai ficando, parece que ele vai ficando melhor por conta da experiência, né? Então é bem interessante aí esse ponto de vista dele, né? Então ele já fez 50 quilômetros, 80, 100 quilômetros, 100 milhas, né? E aí, próxima questão vai ser a respeito da Brasil de 135 milhas, né? So, Tomek, second question. Had you done 135 miles before Brazil?
I mean, yes, because in Poland, I mean, what is important to say? What is the difference in Poland? I mean, in Poland, we are doing everything in kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
So running something like 100 miles, it's not so popular because this is not a typical distance in Poland. In Poland, we are running 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers,
Mm-hmm.
because the figures are equal. I
Ah,
mean,
okay.
nobody is thinking in terms of the of the miles. So when I started running miles distances, when I decided that I have to apply for the bedwater,
Ah, okay.
because in bedwater, in the conditions, you've got the regulation that you have to do at least three 100 miles runs.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to chase 100 miles runs in Europe in in order to complete the requirements coming from Badwater 135 marathon. But in Poland, yes, I did it. There are just only 2 races in Poland for 135 miles. Of course, the distance is expressed in kilometers, so it's 100. It's 215 or 220 kilometers, but more or less I can say it's the same distance. As I said, we've got only two runs with 155 miles. The first one, it's called Bieg Jurajski. I mean, I know that this is a tongue twister for somebody who doesn't speak Polish.
Okay.
So I finish this, if you don't mind.
Okay.
This is the medal I've got. So this is
Very beautiful. And
yeah,
bigger.
yeah, the big one. So started 40 people started, finished just only 8. So what I was among these 8 people who finished this marathon. So yes, I did. So it was done in one shot. But I also participated in something which is called 4 deserts.
Racing the planet.
Quite, yeah, quite famous one.
Yes.
I did this in Mongolia, but you are running there 250 kilometers, although it's distributed in between of the 5 or 6 days because you've got 1 day off.
Okay. The Gobi Desert.
Exactly.
Yes, here in Brazil we have some athletes that do this
I
for
mean,
deserts.
that's why Brazil 135, it was recommended by my friend from For Deserts,
Really?
Bruno. He is Brazilian. He finished Brazilian 135 1 year before.
Okay. What is his second name? Bruno?
I will tell you. Hold on. I don't want to miss anything.
Okay, no
Um,
problem.
I will tell you. He's Bruno Luis Ribeiro.
Um, I heard about him. I heard about him. Yes.
Yeah. So we ran in 2018 uh, for desert ultramarathon
Mm-hmm.
in Mongolia, and we met each other.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the information I received from him, I decided to apply for Brazil 135.
Okay, perfect. I got that now. Well, galera, então eu perguntei para ele a respeito de se ele já tinha corrido, né, uma prova de 135 milhas antes da Brasil 135, né? E aí ele falou assim que como aqui no Brasil, né, lá na Polônia, é muito difícil de ter corridas de 100 milhas, né? As distâncias lá seriam entre 100 quilômetros, 150 quilômetros, né? Em razão aí da conversão, né? Milhas é mais usado aí como métricas americanas, né? Ele disse que tem 2 corridas, né, de milhas lá, que também são chamadas como 220 quilômetros, 210 quilômetros como no Brasil. E ele teve que fazer 3 delas para poder se aplicar para Badwater, né? E ele falou também que conheceu a Brasil 135 através do circuito da Four Deserts, né? Então ele fez o deserto de Gobi na Mongólia, isso em 2018, e lá ele conheceu o Bruno Luiz Ribeiro, que indicou a Brasil 135 para ele, né? O Bruno Ribeiro, eu acredito que eu sei quem que é, né? Agora, só não lembro se eu já conversei com ele e tudo, né? Mas foi ele que indicou a Brasil 135 para ele. Well, Tomek, one curiosity here now, because you said to me that you held three 135 100 miles races to apply to Badwater, and you did Badwater?
I did Badwater Salton Sea. It's
Ah,
not Badwater 135.
okay.
So Badwater Salton Sea, it was my first run when I was supported.
Mhm,
Because I never experienced something like a support race. It
mhm.
was my first chance to have the experience with support. So it's not exactly 135 because everybody wants to run 135.
Uh-huh.
I did only Salton Sea. It's
Mhm.
quite challenging because you are starting also in the same manner, but you are starting from depression and you are going up and up. It's not 135 miles.
Mhm.
It's only 81 or 85 miles as far as I remember. So the distance is shorter and shorter than this famous Badwater one.
Ah, okay, I got that because I already had the opportunity to interview the Chris Costman from Badwater, and he said to me,
I know him.
yes, really?
Yes. Because the same procedure, like for Badwater 135, you've got with Badwater Salton Sea.
Mhm.
So one day before, you've got the dinner with Chris. So we had a chance to meet each other. I mean, when you are a foreigner, you've got the special possibility to meet, somebody who is the boss.
Yes, funny and smart guy. I like him a lot.
Very smart, very smart. And by accident, because I was late for the dinner with Chris, and I met one runner, and he told me, "Okay, I'm Ray," and he's Ray Sanchez. Ray Sanchez is the legend of Badwater
Mhm.
because he ran it something like 15 or 17 times in a row. So there is no Badwater 135 without Ray, but he is excellent.
Yes, yes, I can imagine that. Just running one time, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Bom, galera, então eu perguntei pra ele se ele tinha feito a Badwater, né? Porque ele falou que fez 3 corridas de 100 milhas, né, para aplicar para Badwater. E a que ele fez foi a Badwater Salton Sea, né? Que é uma, vamos dizer assim, uma filha da Badwater, né? O Chris Costman ele faz como se fosse um campeonato, né, de Badwaters, né? Então existem duas antes da Badwater de 135, né? Se eu não me engano, são 50, 80 e 135 que seria a final, vamos dizer assim, né? Então ele fez a Salton Sea e falou que é uma prova bastante difícil, né? Porque ela sai do nível do mar e aí ela chega numa boa elevação, né? Então, assim, parecida com a Badwater, né? E ele disse que teve a possibilidade aí de ter um jantar com o Chris Costman, né? De conhecer o boss, né? E que falou que foi muito bacana aí de conhecer, né? Eu particularmente gosto muito dele, né? Uma pessoa que na entrevista foi muito legal, né? Se soltou bastante, aí conversou bastante com a gente, né? Então foi um momento que eu gostei muito. Well, Tomek, let's do the third question because I did one additional about the bad water. Was it your first time running in Brazil, and it was your first time here in Brazil also?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I mean, Brazil. It was the biggest question mark for me. I mean, I had to this my friend Bruno. So I was asking Bruno, "Hey Bruno, how to be prepared, what to do, and so on, so on." And also, this was my first run, first visit,
Mm-hmm.
first stay in South America because I used to come to the North America. I've got some friends there, but in the South America, it was my first time, and frankly speaking, I'm really, really impressed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are in Poland when you are thinking about Brazil, you've got a lot of stereotypes, but it was a pleasure for me to be in the Brazil, and it was the pleasure for me to meet Brazilian people, I mean, I'm really impressed by the hospitality.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Especially in Minas Gerais, uh, where do you, where did you was in the hotel in Brazil? In what city?
I mean, we landed in São Paulo,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and from São Paulo we took we rent a car and we
Mm-hmm.
went to Ubatuba.
Mm-hmm.
In Ubatuba we stayed something for 5 or 6 days, and from Ubatuba we decided to move to São João de Boa Vista. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry for me, it's still tongue twister.
Okay.
Uh, and after finishing the race we spent something like 3 or 4 days also staying at the town, and we returned to San Paulo, and
Mm-hmm.
after 2 days of stay in San Paulo in a hotel in order to see the
Mm-hmm.
city center, I mean, we went back to Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So it was for me a long holidays, and I know that in Brazil you've got a summer holidays, in Poland you've got a winter holidays. So my wife was surprised because usually we've got this time snow in Poland, so you've got the opportunity to ski. But this time, instead of skiing, I was able to swim. So instead of skiing, it was swimming.
Yes, yes. This is something curious. Here we have summer and in there winter.
Exactly, exactly. And especially in Poland, when I was preparing for this race, I mean, it was very cold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in December in Poland, you had something like -10, -15. So it was totally opposite temperature comparing to Brasilia, because in Brazil you've got +20, +25, and so on, so on. In Poland, you had -15, and it was freezing like a hell.
Yes, yes. Sometimes I am going run here with 30 degrees.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I remember in 2019, when I was in Germany, I had the opportunity to run the München Marathon in there. And when the race finished, I was just sat with my medal and eating something after the race, and a German guy came it to me, and he said, "Oh, I suffered a lot because of the heat here." And it was like 20 degrees, and I say to him, "Oh, I am Brazilian. I train with 40 degrees, 35 degrees," and he, "Oh my God."
When I was training for desert, it was the situation because for desert, uh, I ran something like in August or something like that. So it was autumn
Hmm.
rather. So in Poland, I was the possibility to train in the summer. So we had, I remember, very, very hot summer, something like you are telling me 30 or 35 degrees. So, people were looking at me because exactly at noon, when the heat was the highest one, I took the rucksack on my back, and I was running in order to get used to the temperature. Hello, Mario. To get
Hello,
Hello,
Mario.
Thomas. How are you?
Fine, thank you very much. How about you?
I'm doing fine, doing fine.
Great. I
Hello,
see you've
Felipe.
got a very nice
Hello,
tree.
Mario.
Nice to see you again, Thomas. After all happened to you over there, you are still alive and happy.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
I remember when your wife came through the finish line and she said, Mario, I hate you. I hate your country. I hate everybody. I never passed through something like that, but it was fun. It was fun.
I mean,
Where is she? Is she around? Call her.
as usual, she was afraid about myself. At the
Yeah.
30 kilometers, he told me, "Oh, you look very poor. You look very poor." So please consider if
Of
you
course,
are able
of
to finish.
course. Where is she? Is she around?
Pardon me?
Is she close to you?
No, 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 no. She's sleeping.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's midnight in Poland.
Whoa, whoa. We are 6 p.m. now. Let me see. Yes, we are 7 p.m. here in the US, and it's
You are
good,
lucky one.
good, good.
Now we
Good.
have three different zones here.
So,
Exactly, exactly.
but
Yes.
it was fun. It was. I'm really proud of you finishing sixth place. It was amazing. You did awesome, and your family, the people that you brought with you to help you. And it's a pity that you could not bring your daughter, unfortunately.
I
But
I I know about it. She's still crying about it
yeah,
because
maybe next
it,
year.
it was supposed to be our, dream holidays in Brazil because Brazil is quite unique for all Polish people. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's something, very exotic for us. That's why it was the dream for my daughter in order to be with me. And first time when I wrote email to Mario saying, "Hey, is it possible to be the part of this challenge?" I mean, when I was selected, I told to my daughter, to my wife, "Hey guys, I was selected. We are coming to the Brazil," and everybody was, "Wow, it's amazing."
Awesome, awesome. But let Felipe run the show. He's the boss today. Felipe, you go ahead.
Ok, thank you. Bom, eu vou traduzir o que ele falou na questão anterior, comandante. Então, muito obrigado aí por estar participando aí com a gente, né? Quando você quiser, comandante, pode fazer qualquer questão aí.
Of course.
Bom, galera, então na questão anterior eu perguntei pro Tomek a respeito de se ele já tinha corrido no Brasil ou se ele já teve a oportunidade de vir visitar o Brasil, né? Ele disse que foi a primeira vez que ele veio à América do Sul, né? Que a América que ele tinha ido seria mais a América do Norte, né? E aí eu perguntei para ele também a respeito de como que foi a viagem dele, né? Então ele falou que desceu em São Paulo, né? Aeroporto de Guarulhos. Ele ficou alguns dias em Ubatuba, né? E aí ele estava até conversando comigo em off, depois ele vai falar isso, que quando ele estava em Ubatuba ele achou que seria tudo plano, né? Aqui no Brasil. Aí depois ele ficou hospedado em São João da Boa Vista, né? E aí depois da largada ele ficou mais alguns dias em São Paulo, né? Que ele queria conhecer tudo, então ele conheceu o centro aqui da cidade, né? E ele falou que na Europa o Brasil tem alguns estereótipos, né? Com relação a questão de pobreza e tudo mais, né? Mas que ele disse que tá assim, é, gostou demais, né, das pessoas aqui no Brasil, da hospitalidade, tudo, né? Achou fantástico aqui o Brasil, gostou muito, né? E no bate-papo que ele estava tendo com o Mário aqui agora, né? O Mário falou que a esposa dele até brincou, né? Quando chegaram, né? Que assim, detesto a prova, detesto o país, tudo, mas foi muito engraçado, né? Que quando chegou, né? Que concluiu aí a Brasil, né? E foi uma pena que infelizmente a filha do Tomek não conseguiu estar vindo, né? Ela queria vir, né? Porque ela queria muito conhecer o Brasil, né? E infelizmente não pôde vir, né? E também tem a questão que ele estava falando de que agora na Polônia, né, em janeiro, fevereiro é inverno, né? Então lá é -10, -15, -20 e aqui no Brasil 20, 30 graus, né? Então aí ele até deu risada que ele estava nadando aqui no Brasil em janeiro, algo que seria impossível de fazer, né, na Polônia, né? Então é isso. Well,
And one thing, Felipe, one
ok.
thing that she also told me that she was following him in several races, but she was never facing that much difficulties as she found in Brazil 135.
I mean, this 8,000 meters of up and downs is really killing.
O comandante disse que essa foi a prova mais difícil que ele já fez, né? E o Tomek falou que essa descida e subida direto é muito complicado.
A esposa dele falou
Ah,
que
tá.
nunca tinha passado por uma situação tão difícil quanto ela passou na BR-135.
Ah, a esposa dele, a esposa dele.
É.
Então, ok. Well, Tomek, next question. In Poland, do you have places to train with a bigger elevation gain?
I mean, yes, we've got some mountains. I mean, the main Polish mountain is called Tatra Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And running ultra races is quite popular at the moment in Poland. So we've
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of races when you can train. But frankly speaking, I live in the very flat area. So
Mm-hmm.
in order to train in the mountain, I have to travel something like 300, 400 kilometers, depending
Mm-hmm.
where I want to train. So it's the situation that, when I start running, I'm running 10 kilometers and it's absolutely flat. So it's very nice when you run, for example, marathon or half marathon, because you've
Mm-hmm.
got the opportunity to have a quite good score. But but it's not very good for ultra races when you have to meet very big elevations.
Okay, I got that. Uh, well, it's not so easy to train here in São Paulo to Brazil 135 also because
It's not definitely. So first of all, you are meeting heat in Brazil. So in Poland it's cold. You are coming, it's very hot.
Mhm.
So it's totally opposite in terms of the temperature. And
Yes.
also, the Poland is rather flat and Brazil is up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yes, yes, for sure. And just a curiosity, how did you did to train in heat conditions or simulate heat conditions in Poland?
Frankly speaking, I did nothing. I mean, I was running as usual. I mean, I used to run every day, so minimum distance I'm running every day is 10 kilometers.
Mhm.
So I told to myself, okay, maybe I will make this distance a little bit longer
Uh-huh.
in order to make my body force for bigger challenge, for bigger for something which is more difficult.
Mhm.
But in terms of the heat, I didn't do anything like, for example, running in sauna or something like this. I was just only running. That's why we decided to come a little bit earlier, because I knew that the temperature would be something very uh, not not common for me.
Mhm.
So that's why I wanted to, first of all, to avoid having a jet lag,
Mhm.
because there is a 4 hours of time
Yes.
difference in between of Poland and Brazil. So I wanted to make my body get used for changes of the time. And the second issue is this temperature issue,
Mhm.
because as I told you, we started with -10 and we landed, it was +20, and the temperature was rising because I
Uh-huh.
landed at 6 o'clock.
How many days did you got here in Brazil before Brazil 135?
It was something like 7, 8 days,
Ah, okay.
something like this, because we started I mean, we left Poland on 5th of January,
Mhm.
and Brazil started on 13th. So it was exactly 8 days. I mean, considering the flight, because the flight is something like 20 hours or 22 hours.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be 7 days in Brazil before.
Yes. Did you have some connection in the flight?
Yes. I had to wait in London.
Mhm.
I was waiting for 3 hours and I was calling Mario in order to ask him if the race is not cancelled.
Ah, yes, yes. Yes, this is true.
So it was my biggest concern, frankly speaking,
Mhm.
because you are training the whole year, you are crossing, the ocean in order to meet the challenge and to break the distance and to have the possibility to apply for Bedwater 135. And suddenly Mario is calling me, you know uh, uh, in Poland it was evening, very late evening. I was finishing my working day, and Mario is calling me, telling me, "Hey Tomek, if it is possible, do not on board. Come on, how is this possible? There is no possibility not to on board." I didn't have any problem. I understand, COVID situation and everything connected with the disease, but
Mhm.
it was very, very, for me, frustrating, let's call it like this, because I was still afraid, and making I did some SMSs to Mario. Hey Mario, do you know anything? How is the situation with the race? Maybe I will do it on my own, and you just only register this.
Yes, yes. We here in Brazil, wa, we was with this kind of a war in here in Brazil also. Remember, Mario, the situation?
Totally. I strongly recommend Thomas, please do not board because the race can be canceled. And he said, we are going to Brazil
Yeah.
to have fun. And if the race happens, then we're gonna suffer a little bit.
But anyway, it was for me the unique opportunity to see Brazil. And
Mhm.
frankly speaking, this is one of them. I like very much ultra races. Why? Because it gives you the opportunity to see real country. For example, when I was running for desert in Mongolia, I had the possibility to see Mongolia. Nobody from tourists ever seen it. The same story with Brazil. I mean, if you are tourist in Brazil, you are going to São Paulo, you are going to Rio de Janeiro. That's it. You are seeing big cities.
Mhm.
And frankly speaking, for me, it's much nicer to be inside Brazil and
Mhm.
seeing villages, towns, and so on, so on. That's why I really enjoyed running and using this opportunity to run this path with the churches, chapels, and so on, so on.
Yes, this is true.
So, Thomas, I just stopped by to say good night and say hello to you to see how you are. And it was a pleasure see you again. So now let me leave you with Felipe that will conduct the live. And it was a pleasure to see you. And thank you, Felipe,
Thank
for
you,
the
Mario.
opportunity to see you and
Thank you very
speak on
much,
the.
Mario. It was also a pleasure for me. And once again, thank you very much for all the support I received from you.
Thank you. That's my pleasure. And it's good to see you again. Say hello to your lovely family.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Mario.
Bye bye. And I forgot the expression bye bye
Do widzenia.
in Torsiania. Yes. I recorded that, but I couldn't remember
Yeah,
some
and,
years
and
ago.
and thank you very much. Is dziękuję.
Jokoyon. Okay. See you later. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye
Thank
bye,
you. Bye bye,
Mario.
Felipe. Bye bye.
Have a nice day. Okay. So, Tomek, good to see Mario again.
Definitely, definitely.
When I was telling you about the heat conditions in Brazil and how did you train it in Poland with these conditions, similar conditions, I was remember about the Chris Kostman interview, and he was explaining to me that athletes from Sweden, Norway, Finland, they they train like that. They just run in a treadmill with a lot of clothes in them, or with a hair dryer in front of them, or with the washing machine in front of them.
I mean, maybe this is the opportunity. But when you're considering clothes, the clothes doesn't work. When you've got -15, it doesn't matter how many clothes you wear. I mean, there's cold the same.
Yeah, just and you told to us about the mountains that you need to drive like 300 400 kilometers to go to these mountains. Before the Brazil 135, how many times did you go to these mountains to train? Did you remember?
I mean, with training, I mean, in May,
Mm-hmm.
because Brazil was in January. In May, I did the race for 100 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I had quite nice results because I did it in less than 23 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it was for me very nice, very nice results, and I've got this opportunity that I've got a flat in the Polish mountains. So for me, there is no need to rent a hotel or rent any rooms, and I can visit this place when I want. So I did it every 2 weeks. I was running to the mountains in order to at least breathe, to do some runnings, to have a walk sometimes. It would done something like that. But I think that majority of my training was concentrated on morning runs, something like at least 10 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
During the weekend time, I did 20 or 30 kilometers in order to get used to the distance
Ah, okay, every day running.
every day.
Every day. Ah, ok. Galera, traduzindo para vocês, né, tudo que a gente conversou, eu tava perguntando pro Tomek a respeito de como que ele achou, né, locais na Polônia, né, que tinha uma certa elevação, né? Ele falou que lá na Polônia a montanha mais alta tem 2.500 metros e que ele ia a cada 2 semanas para fazer treinos nessas montanhas, né? Mas a maior parte dos treinos que ele fez foi na cidade dele, né, que é uma cidade mais plana, né? E aí ele fazia todos os dias pelo menos 10 quilômetros, né? E com relação ao calor, ele falou que não conseguiu fazer nada, né? Porque ele disse que dependendo do frio, você pode colocar a roupa que for que você não vai conseguir simular o que você vai viver ali no país, né? Então ele disse que veio para cá para o Brasil para aclimatar mais ou menos 8 dias antes, né? Para sentir tudo, né? Ele falou que saiu da Polônia com -10, chegou no Brasil aqui com +20, né? Então para ele foi um baque danado, né? De ter recebido essa temperatura, né? Então, então vocês veem, para ele o mais importante foi ter feito esses 10 quilômetros todo dia, né? Mesmo que foi plano, e aí ele conseguiu ficar apto, né? Para ficar apto aí para fazer a Brasil 135, né? Então, bem interessante aí para vocês verem, né? Como que é como que é diferente isso, né? A pessoa mora num país extremamente frio, né? Depois vem pro Brasil, né? E aí tem que se aclimatar, tem que chegar alguns dias antes, né? Então é bem curioso isso. Well, Tomek, let's talk about the race.
Yeah.
You finished the race in the fifth place with 34 hours, 32 minutes, and 40 seconds, under 35 hours. It is an amazing an amazing result in Brazil. And did you expected that? Because here with 30 degrees, it was your first time in this temperature. Did you expect that, this result?
Uh, Definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not, Philippe. I mean, my time, I know about it
Mm-hmm.
because, what I wanted to obtain, because the minimum for bed water is 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
One guy from Poland who participated in Brazil 135 something like 8 years ago or 9 years ago. He was called Jacek.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Jacek and he was telling me about, all these pros and cons related with this race. But he didn't remember everything
Mm-hmm.
because I was asking him, okay, what kind of shoes to take? Do you use the shoes for trail, or do you use the shoes for road running?
Mm-hmm.
uh, and he told, no, I don't remember. I asked him about the rain. He told me, during my time, it never rained. So that's why, it was my imagination, and he did it in 42 hours. So I told to myself, in order to have uh, mm, Poland best score in Brazil 135, I need to beat him and do it in less than 42 hours.
Uh-huh.
And I was running just only listening to my body and listening to my heart, to avoid the situation that I'm overdose something
Mm-hmm.
during the race. So it was for me, frankly speaking, a pleasure. Of course, when you run 135 miles, it must be a pain. It
Mm-hmm.
must be a pain. But frankly speaking, I felt very well,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it in the natural way. I lost my way 3 times. I mean, I lost the car with support, so I had some extra miles on this race. But this is a totally different story. So I didn't expect, and you know what was very strange for me and a little bit funny, because I realized that I'm sixth something like 1 week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because for me it was absolutely perfect that I did it, and the time is something which is quite nice for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't care about the score. And frankly speaking, during the race, due to the different categories in the race, because you can do duet racing, you can do quattro racing, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling myself, oh my God, I'm so slow, because sometimes, I was seeing somebody who was chasing me, and he or she was faster. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm so poor that everybody is running faster than I do. And, after the end of the race, I realized probably they are swapping each other in the car. That's why, so it was my experience. So frankly speaking and honestly speaking, I didn't expect. And I know in the ultra racing that because sometimes people are asking you, what is your expectation? And frankly speaking, I'm always asking, I don't know. Everything depends on the uh, I mean, distance. It's not something which makes you sure that, for example, you will be running 100 miles in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's up and downs. It's something which is, it's temperature, it's wind, it's rain. That's why, I didn't expect, frankly speaking, anything. I wanted to beat this previous Pole, who was doing this race, and that's it, and be a part of, and have the possibility to apply for Badwater. So this was my expectation. I didn't want even to chase, because I wanted to beat myself, not to beat anybody from the competition.
Was it your best result in 135 miles races?
Yes, because in Poland I did it in something like 41 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first one, but in Poland it was really, really cold, and it was horribly raining.
Mm, okay.
So, the weather condition, it was totally different. In Brazil, there is a heat. In Poland, there was cold. So sometimes it's very, very hard to compare it. And
Mm-hmm.
in Poland, it was not 8,000 meters of high differences.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how did you deal with the heat conditions? Sometimes it was so hot. Even me, I was doing the 8 miles. I didn't finish the 8 miles, but sometimes I was red my arms here because the sun was so strong. And how did you deal with this sun?
I mean, sun in Brazil is really, really strong.
Yes.
That's why, I'm using, I don't know how to call it in English, but you put it
Ah, okay.
on your hand in order to protect your hand against
Mm-hmm.
against against sun tanning. So it was my way how to protect my arms.
Mm-hmm.
But due to the rain, I took it off,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave it to the car. So, after the race, I mean, my arms were really red, and
Mm-hmm.
after sometimes, I had bubbles with the water inside, and also the neck. It's typical. And for me, I remember, uh, I don't remember the name of the town, but it
Mm-hmm.
was the town, and inside the town you do not have wind, because the block of flats protecting you against the wind, and
Mm-hmm.
and there was a clock, and there was the thermometer,
Mm-hmm.
and on the thermometer I saw the temperature. It was 38 degrees, and I said to myself, "Oh my God, it's horrible."
And did you get some thunderstorms? Because I got two.
I mean, yes, I think there were two, but I've got a tricky part for thunderstorms in Brazil. I mean, when I wore the jacket
Mm-hmm.
protecting me against the rain stopped automatically, because for a long time I was running without any jacket in order
Uh-huh.
to make my body a little bit colder,
Mm-hmm.
because when it's raining, it's really nice. It's much, much nicer for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier for me to race. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was waving my hands to the car, "Hey guys, please stop, give me a jacket because I'm starting to be cold." After 5 minutes, there was nothing like a rain.
Ah. So you were used with the rain temperature. Ah, ok.
Exactly.
Ok, fine. Bom, galera, traduzindo tudo que ele falou, né? Então eu perguntei se ele esperava, né, terminar a Brasil 135 com 34 horas, 32 minutos e 40 segundos, né, na quinta colocação. Ele disse que na Polônia a melhor colocação dele numa prova de 135, né, milhas tinha sido 41 horas, né? Só que ele falou que lá a temperatura estava muito complicada, né, com relação a frio, né? E estava chovendo bastante, né? Então ele disse que acabou se adaptando melhor, né, com as condições aqui do Brasil, né? Por incrível que pareça, é até interessante, né, ele falar isso. E ele disse que teve um atleta, né, da Polônia que já fez a Brasil, o Jacek, né? E ele terminou com 42 horas e aí ele entrou em contato com ele para saber, né, como seria as condições aí do Brasil. Ele disse que não lembrava muito bem, né, das condições, mas ele queria bater, né, a marca dele das 42 horas e de ter a melhor marca, né, de um polonês na Brasil 135. Ah, ele foi para a prova, né, pensando em fazer as 48 horas para se qualificar para Badwater, né? Então eu vou perguntar para ele, mas muito provavelmente ele vai querer fazer aí a Badwater, né, em agosto agora. E ele falou que com relação ao calor, né, ele usava manguitos, né, aqui para se proteger do calor. E ele disse que quando chovia era até melhor por causa da temperatura, né? Então ele já está acostumado com uma temperatura mais fria, né? Então quando chovia, né, mesmo que abaixasse um pouco a temperatura do corpo, mas aí ele conseguia se manter mesmo sem jaqueta, né? Então é bastante interessante nessa essa resenha, né? Tudo que ele está falando, né? De como que seria, né? Porque pegar 30 graus, né? E sair da Polônia aí com menos 10, menos 15 graus, então é bastante interessante. Uh, Tomek, how was your hydration, your food during the race?
Uh, Long story, frankly speaking, because everything was fine at the beginning. I'm in general I'm vegetarian, so
Mhm.
I do not eat any meat. That's why I was using everything, because for me the perfect. I took from Poland some special food for runners,
Mhm.
but it's quite sweet. That's why it's not possibility to have a chance to eat all the time the food dedicated for athletes.
Mhm.
Uh, what I did, I like cheese. That's why I asked my wife in order to make me a roll with the cheese inside.
Mhm.
Frankly speaking, I was using a special food for sport,
Mhm.
and I use this rolls with the cheese in order to survive. And at the beginning, everything was fine, but something around 100 kilometers or 130 kilometers, I had problems with my stomach.
Mhm.
And I had to persuade to my head, and this is the way of, I think, attitude or mindset, behavior. I knew that I had to eat in order to survive, because giving the calories to my body, it was something which was which makes me alive and makes me move in the fast way.
Mhm.
With hydration, I didn't have any problem. So I use as usual in the bottle, because I had a bottle in my head.
Mhm.
I was using water,
Mhm.
but when the car stopped, uh, I was using Coke,
Mhm.
of course, with sugar in order to have a lot of calories inside.
Mhm.
I was using Coke in order to drink. And frankly speaking, sometimes I overdosed water. So I felt the water in my throat almost. But anyway, I avoided the situation, because I know if you've got too much water, it's much better than you've got not enough water.
Mhm.
So that's why I was thinking still and all the time, please drink, please drink. And additionally, I used salt pills,
Ah, ok.
uh, because when you are sweating, you are losing a lot of salts.
Mhm.
So I make a substitution of the salt I oversweated,
Mhm.
by a special pills. I was taking every hour or every 1 hour and a half this pill with salt to avoid the situation that there is no salt, there is no possibility to move the electrician across the body,
Mhm.
so you are stopping. I saw one guy who didn't do it. It was
Mhm.
not in Brazil 135, but it was in Mongolia. And this guy was totally lost because he forgot about taking salt, so immediately he was disqualified by the doctor from the race because there was no communication with this guy.
Mhm.
So three pillars. So first of all, I know that I have to eat.
Mhm.
I didn't want, but I know that I have to do it.
Mhm.
I was drinking water and Coke.
Mhm.
And secondly, the salt pills in order to make my body move and to have the perfect possibility to move electricity across the body.
Ah, okay, perfect. Uh, don't you use the carb ups?
No, no, anything like this. Anything like this.
Okay. And did you bought something in the cities to eat, some sweaters or something like that?
No, no. I asked my wife only about cheese and rolls.
Mhm.
So it was that's it. I didn't want to eat too much because I
Mhm.
know that when I've got something in the stomach, it's really hard to run.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to stop for a long period of time because I was afraid about my legs.
Mhm.
Because when you sit down, your legs cool down and you've got a problems with start moving once again.
Mhm.
That's why I didn't want to do it, and I wanted to be still in the run, avoiding moments that I'm having a seat, having a rest, because it's really really hard to start running once again. That's why everything what I did, it was almost in the move.
Uhum. Ah, ok, perfect. Bom, galera, traduzindo tudo que ele falou, né? Eu perguntei como que foi a hidratação e a comida dele, né? Então ele falou que é um pouco mais complicado, né? Porque ele é vegetariano. Então ele falou que tudo que ele comeu ele trouxe da Polônia, né? E algo que ele gosta bastante seria o queijo, né? Então ele comeu bastante queijo, né? Ele falou rolls, que seria acho que enroladinhos, algo assim, né? Então seria com queijo tudo, né? Bebeu bastante água, usou Coca-Cola e ele disse que usou pílulas, né, de sal a cada 1 hora, né? Eu também perguntei se ele faz uso de gel carboidrato, também não. E ele não parou em nenhuma cidade, né, para comprar nada, tudo porque ele queria ter o mínimo de paradas possíveis, né, para continuar se movendo, para as pernas não resfriarem, né, não ter aquela dificuldade toda de você continuar se movendo, né. E então assim, tem essa dificuldade, né, de ser vegetariano, tudo, né, que tem essa dificuldade. E ele também falou que quando teve mais ou menos 100 milhas, tudo, ele começou a ter um certo enjoo, né, com relação à comida, tudo. E aí depois ele continuou indo depois desse enjoo, né, e ele tentou se manter comendo, se manter bebendo, tudo durante a prova, né, para não ter nenhuma baixa, né. Então é mais ou menos isso. Tomek, tell us a little bit about your support crew and how they were important to you to finish this challenge.
I mean, I'm, I'm working for the sales organization, and in the sales you've got front office and back office,
Mhm.
and it's hard to say that front office, it's just only these guys generating profit of the company. In
Mhm.
order to make front office run, you have to have a very orchestrated back office. So the same story is with you, who is running, and of course, if somebody is taking a picture,
Mhm.
I mean, you are taken as a great hero, yeah. But in my opinion, the role of the support is absolutely crucial, and I really appreciate this. So first of all, I mean, when you are running so long, you are not a nice guy. I mean, you are irritated sometimes, you feel the heat, you feel the pain. So they have to know you very much in order to get used to all your good and bad humor you've got, and good or bad your feelings. Secondly, uh, they have to know what I like, what to do, how to treat myself when they stopped. And additionally, due to the fact that I had a sponsor in Poland who gave me some money, I decided to take a therapist
Hmm.
with myself, who was supporting me, when I feel the pain in the legs. He was supporting me and doing a very fast massage
Hmm.
in order to start running once again. So probably it was the best decision I did. And being in the support, it's not very nice, because still you are in the car, still you have to follow the runner. There is no possibility to sleep,
Hmm.
because you have to be all the time, ready for supporting, for giving, for preparing, and so on. So it's not very, very nice. It's not very easy job. And exactly for me, this situation with the front office and back office, and both things have to be orchestrated in order to make a positive result. This is the best example how it should works in between of the runner and support team.
Okay, perfect. How many people was in your crew?
I mean, uh, in my group, I had the group of 5 people,
Hmm.
but normally we were supposed to be a group of 6 people.
Hmm.
But my daughter, uh, I mean, when you start traveling with pandemia restriction or limitations, you have to do a COVID test.
Mm, okay.
So one day before we started traveling, we all went to the doctors in order to make the test, and she was positively diagnosed. So there's no possibility that my daughter will join us. So that's why she had to stay in Poland, and she was crying so much that she wanted to see Brasilia. She wanted to visit this place, but unfortunately, due to this illness, she wasn't able. I mean, we paid for the ticket. Thanks God I took the insurance, but this is
Hmm.
not the issue of the insurance. This is the issue of, event, moment in time, possibility to see, and so on. Still, for us, I mean, people living in Europe, especially in Poland, because we are part of the Eastern Europe with experience with communism. I mean, traveling to Brasilia is something unique, is something special, is something, which doesn't happen so often. That's
Hmm.
why for us, this trip, it was something like a trip we were supposed to have as a family.
I can imagine it. How old is she? Your daughter?
I mean, my daughter is 23.
23. Well, maybe next year you
Yeah,
come back to Brazil and do it
I
again.
would like. I would like. I mean, this is very nice race, and as I told you, I mean, I can give just only any superior opinion about this race, about the
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere, about the people, everything what was there. In my opinion, it was really great.
Mm-hmm. Ah, ok, perfect. Bom, galera, traduzindo o que ele disse, né? Então eu perguntei sobre o que, que ele acha, né? O que, que ele achou aí da equipe dele, né? De suporte. Então é bastante interessante porque tudo que ele falou é tudo que os atletas brasileiros falam, né? Da importância, né? Da equipe de apoio, né? Então ele fez até uma analogia com relação a que ele trabalha com vendas, né? Então ele falou assim, o vendedor não é nada se não tiver aquela equipe por trás, né? O back office, né? Pessoa administrativa, né? Se não tiver por trás. Então ele falou que eles foram muito importantes, né? A equipe dele tinha 5 membros, né? Teria 6, só que a filha dele testou positivo para Covid e era o sonho dela de conhecer o Brasil, tudo, né? Ela ficou bastante chateada, né? Ela tem 23 anos. E ele falou que assim, ser apoio é muito difícil, né? Porque tá dirigindo, né? Não pode dormir, tem que estar toda hora ali ao lado do atleta, né? E ele disse que teve também um patrocinador na Polônia e ele conseguiu trazer um fisioterapeuta junto com ele, né? E esse fisioterapeuta fazia massagens quando ele precisava, tudo, né? Então, equipe de apoio é essencial, né? Vocês veem que não só no Brasil, né? Mas lá na Polônia e eu acredito que no mundo todo, né? Tem essa questão da equipe de apoio aí ser bastante essencial, né? E eu já perguntei para ele se ele tem vontade, né? De voltar aí para Brasil 135. Ele disse que é uma prova muito especial. Quem sabe o ano que vem ele possa vir. Uh, Tomek, you said to me that you would like to become an ambassador in Poland concerning Brazil 135. Could you comment more about that?
Yeah, I mean, uh, maybe I will tell you basing on my example. You know, uh, when I knew that I was selected for being a part of Brazil 135, I would uh, I wouldn't have the possibility to be familiar with the condition of the race because I didn't know about the weather, I didn't know about the road, and so on, so on. I was asking Mario, I was asking Bruno, my friend. I was calling to this Polish person who
Uhum,
finished before. So mm, this race in Poland is almost unknown. I mean, everybody knows uh, for desert, everybody knows Bedwater, everybody knows Marathon des Sables,
uhum,
but nobody knows Brazil 135. And when I started giving the post to my Facebook describing Brazil, describing the way how I train and so on, so on, usually I've got something like 300, 400 responses. And when I put on my Facebook the pictures from the race. There were a lot of people asking me about conditions.
uhum,
So for me, being ambassador, it means that when somebody from Europe, because frankly speaking, you know, when you're racing long distance, really long distance races, uh, you know a lot of people,
uhum,
you know the people from the different countries, so I will be always open in order to give a hints, give some information how it looks like in my case, what is important, what is less important, what kind of the shoes to take, what kind
uhum,
of the jackets to be prepared, and so on, so on. And I all the time will be telling, hey guys, this is magnificent. This is awesome race, and it's worth every single penny in order to be in Brazil, see Brazil, and this is a unique opportunity to see a real Brazil, not Brazil of the big cities close to
uhum,
the seaside. it's the opportunity to see, small villages, people enjoying, people looking at you, even if when I had a problem with communication, because as I told you before, I don't speak Portuguese. Uh, Even having a problem with the communication, I mean, everybody was understanding what it means. Everybody was understanding smile. So we are very similar in terms of approach and attitude. So from my perspective, I have to say, people in Brasilia, they are very, very hospitable. They are trying to help you. They are trying to persuade you. They are trying to support you. And the atmosphere of the race is really amazing. And that's why, meaning about ambassador, I'm telling all the time, when I've got the possibility to help somebody, I will be happy. When I've got the possibility to recommend Brazil 135, I will be recommended this race. And I was telling a lot of stories about Badwater, because really Badwater was my is my target.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, Brazil 135 is the uh, race which can be target on your own. And there's a really funny story about being ambassador, because I was putting this information on my Facebook, and some runners portals took my post, and they distributed across the Poland. And one of my friends, who is a doctor, uh, uh, he sent me SMS when I'm in Poland. He sent me SMS, uh, Tomek, have you been in Brazil? Because my patient came to me and told me that there was one guy from Poland who was running 217 kilometers in Brazil. And I told, yes, it's me.
Now you are known in Poland as the one who did the 220 kilometers
I
in
mean,
Brazil.
I was the second one.
Yes. Perfect.
So I was so surprised, because we didn't meet each other for a long period of time, something
Hmm.
like 2 years or so, something like that. When I had the problems with my knees, I was asking him, "Hey, please help me." And it was something like we exchanged the phone numbers, and suddenly, bang, SMS, "Hey, this is you who was running in Brazil, because I heard from my patient, that there was one Pole who was doing such a things."
Perfect. It is an honor to us to have you as an ambassador, and I already said to Mario Lacerda about that, and he was glad about that.
I mean, I'm really glad to be, and I'm really proud that I did it. And for me, it was the pleasure to be with you.
Ah, ok, perfect. Galera, então, traduzindo nossa conversa, o Tomek, ele disse que quer ser um embaixador da Brasil 135 na Polônia, né? Por quê? Ele disse que teve muitas dificuldades para encontrar informações sobre a Brasil 135. Então você tem informações sobre os Four Deserts, né? Que são os 4 desertos mais extremos do mundo, né? Aquele circuito global. Você tem informações sobre a Badwater, né? Todo mundo conhece a Badwater, mas a Brasil é muito difícil de ter informações, né? Ele tinha esse outro atleta, o Jacek, né? Que fez aqui a Brasil, só que ele não lembrava de muita coisa, né? E, e aí ele disse que conversou com o Bruno, né? Que é o contato dele, que tinha indicado a Brasil, conversou com o Mário Lacerda sobre as situações, tudo, né? E aí agora que ele veio para o Brasil, né, agora que ele fez essa prova, que ele sabe, né, como que funciona tudo aqui, né, como que é o Brasil, a hospitalidade, né. Se você quiser vir conhecer o Brasil, não somente as áreas litorâneas, mas conhecer as vilas menores, né, as cidades menores, né. Então é uma ótima oportunidade de vir conhecer a Brasil 135, né? Então ele vai divulgar bastante na Polônia, né? Não só na Polônia, mas também na Europa, né? Ele disse que tem participa de grupos, né? Que no Facebook, que tem bastante europeus, né? Que querem conhecer mais a respeito da prova, né? Então é bem bacana, né? E eu falei para ele que é uma honra, né? Da Brasil ter ele como embaixador, tudo, né? E ele falou que é uma prova magnífica, né? Que ele ficou maravilhado. And Tomek, I hope this interview will help you with this ambassador thing.
I hope so. Definitely, it's gonna be on my Facebook also.
Okay. Tomorrow, when this interview was uploaded to the YouTube, and I will get the link, I will send to you this link.
Great, because my mother and my father, they are waiting, patiently for this link.
Oh, really? Ah.
Yes, 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 because I was telling them that, I'm supposed to have this kind of a interview. So my mother and my father, they want to see immediately. And also, talking about ambassador, my father was telling me that he had a lot of friends who were telling him, "Hey, your son was running this crazy race."
Was it your first interview doing ultramarathons?
I mean, I had something when I finished for deserts,
Hmm.
but this kind of interview, this is the first one.
Ah, okay, okay. A pleasure to me. Tomek, just to finish our interview, because now I think it's 1:30 in there.
Exactly.
So this year your target is Badwater. Did you get the
I
invitation
mean,
already?
not this year. I mean, my mother, frankly speaking, I've got some family problems. I mean, my
Hmm.
my mother is ill, so that's why
Ah,
I
okay.
didn't apply in the states because uh, uh, we are very in Poland. We are very family oriented,
Hmm.
probably the same as Brazilians.
Yes.
So that's why I told myself, okay, cool down. It's much better to be with your mother instead of moving, rapid things, going like a crazy to the states and returning and so on, so on. So it's not. So probably next year is gonna be the year when I will be applying. I
Hmm.
applied twice for Bedwater, and I was not selected for this Bedwater 135. But in Poland we've got a proverb that you have to try 3 times in order to succeed. So maybe this third time will be successful for me.
Yes, for sure. And in United States, you have some races that are still more difficult to enter than Badwater. I uploaded it to my channel yesterday about the Western States Endurance Run.
I mean, the friends of mine, because the friend of mine is world championship in double Ironman. He did it, so
Really?
this is one of the first polls he did it. At the moment, he's 67 or something like that. When nobody knew about triathlon in Poland, he did it, and he's former drug user. I mean, he had very heavy childhood. I mean, he was addicted for 15 years with heroin, and
Hmm.
when he decided to quit heroin, he started running.
Hmm.
So this is very good example of
Hmm.
that. Running is not only sport, it's the way of life.
Yes, for sure. I like this kind of stories.
I mean, please, I will send you tomorrow via WhatsApp his name and surname, and you can check him on the internet. He had
Mhm.
big problems, but it's a really building story.
Great, great. I would like to check in the internet and see his story. Great. Uh, and in these Western states, the most difficult in there is the lottery because you have to apply and he apply, more or less 5 or 6 times after your first application. You get there, and the
Yeah,
geomet.
and there is this famous, when you Berkeley Marathon also.
Ah, yes, yes. This is the toughest one. If I am not mistaken, they took 33 years that they held the race, and just 15 people finished it.
Yes, something like that. But you are close to them. You are 18. You are adult.
Yes, yes. I will try to interview them, the Barclays Marathon here, and my next target will be the Arrowhead race director. Well, uh, I will translate to the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Bom, galera, então eu tava perguntando pra ele a respeito da Badwater, né? Se ele vai participar da Badwater este ano. Ele disse que não, ele vai tentar no próximo ano porque ele tá com problema com a mãe dele, né? Que a mãe dele tá doente, né? Então lá na Polônia, assim como nós aqui no Brasil, a gente tem essa questão familiar, tudo, né? De se dedicar à família, né? Então esse ano ele vai se dedicar aí à recuperação da mãe dele e ele tá pensando em fazer a Badwater no ano que vem, né? Que esse é o grande objetivo dele, né? Por isso ele fez a Brasil 135 para se qualificar aí para Badwater, né? E a gente estava contando, tava conversando também a respeito de um atleta polonês, né? Que já fez a Western States e ele foi pro triatlon, tudo, né? Ele era ex-usuário de drogas, né? Ele ficou 15 anos, né? Com usuário de heroína, tudo, né? E aí ele se tornou campeão de triatlon, né? Fez a Western States. Depois ele vai me passar aí no WhatsApp todas essas informações. Depois eu vou compartilhar com ele também os links das outras entrevistas aí, tudo. Well, Tomek, so let's finish the interview, né? The converse.
So, Philippe, thank you very much for this interview. And I would like to tell something to Brazilian people. I would like to say, chapeau bas, thank you very much for all the nice moments I had. And I really appreciate for kind of the attitude, for hospitality and everything what I received. It was really best. Thank you very much.
Okay, Tomek, so we are glad to have you as an ambassador, and thank you for your words. This is very important to us here in Brazil. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philippe. If you don't mind, I disconnect.
Okay, no problem, Tomek. So have a good night, good
Thank
rest,
you.
and we stay in touch, my friend.
Yeah, we will stay in touch. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bom, galera, então, pra gente encerrar aí a nossa entrevista, né, o Tomek falou que gostou muito do Brasil, né, que tá muito feliz aí com a hospitalidade do Brasil, de ter conhecido, né, então ele tá bastante feliz, né, com relação a isso, né, e lá já é 1h30 da manhã, né, então ele tem que desconectar. E é isso, meus amigos. Então, quero agradecer a todos que entraram aqui nos comentários, né? Deixaram alguma mensagem aí para nós, né? Não consegui ler aí durante a entrevista, passar para ele, né? Algumas perguntas, alguns comentários, tudo, mas muito obrigado aí por vocês aí terem participado, terem deixado seus comentários, né? E eu vi que o Haroldo colocou aqui, did you try rapadura? Por causa disso que eu perguntei se ele tinha usado algum sweet, né, algum doce, né, parado em alguma cidade, né, para comprar, né? Mas não sei se ele ia lembrar de rapadura, né? Então é isso, galera. Bom, quero convidar vocês aí para as lives da semana que vem. Segunda-feira a live vai ser com a Letícia Saltori, né? Então a Letícia Saltori é um dos grandes nomes do trail running brasileiro, né? Vai fazer aí o caminho do ouro, né? 100 milhas, e ela vai estar aqui no canal para falar com a gente aí, contar sobre a história dela, né? Sobre a participação dela, especialmente também até esqueci, me fugiu o nome daquela competição que aconteceu no final do ano do trail, até esqueci o nome agora. Mas ela vai contar tudo pra gente aí, né? Então segunda-feira, não percam aí a live com a Letícia Saltori. E na terça-feira, deixa eu só ver aqui com quem que é a live. O estagiário tá esquecendo. A live vai ser com o Caveira. Então, o Caveira aí, atleta do Noroeste Paulista, um atleta muito forte, que inclusive esteve aí na Brasil 135, né? Disse que trombou com uma onça parda, né? Então ele vai contar todas essas histórias pra gente, vai contar sobre a carreira dele. E na quinta-feira a live vai ser com o Elton, né? O Elton ele vai contar pra gente como que foi desde a saída que ele fez uma bariátrica até a ultramaratona, a primeira dele, que ele fez a caminho da prece e terminou aí com 7 horas e meia, né? Um resultado fantástico. E hoje ele está aí como motivador, né? Contando a história deles para todo mundo. E eu quero que ele venha aqui para contar a história deles também, né? Que eu gosto muito dessas histórias de superação, né? Então é isso, meus amigos. Muito obrigado por terem ficado aí comigo até agora, né? Foi uma live aí que eu gostei bastante, né? Uma live que eu confesso para vocês que estava um pouco ansioso, né? Porque eu queria saber como seria, né? Essa questão de fazer a tradução simultânea, tudo, né? E foi um sucesso, eu achei muito bacana, né? Depois deixa os comentários de vocês, me chamem lá no WhatsApp, né? Me falem o que vocês acharam dessa live e se eu devo fazer mais lives assim, tradução simultânea. Tá certo, galera? Grande abraço para vocês e até a próxima.